Tusk Punch as well. There it is. Evil Genius is actually going to go back for the Lion. So this is going to be the off-lane Earthshaker, safe lane Bristleback, and then their two supports, Dazzle and Lion.
Well, with Sumail on Shrike, I'm wondering if you can even get away with the aggro tri-lane here.
Yeah, it's...
Because you have a Dazzle and a Bristle, so you're not really too concerned about that. And the Dazzle and the Lion could rotate over. There's no pulling, make sure there's no power leveling. It could get messy. It could get really messy really quick, but if it pays off...
They could dodge the aggro tri-lane of London Conspiracy, but I don't think they should try and fight London Conspiracy in a 3 versus 3. It's too dangerous against a Tusk and a Gyrocopter, and then also think about your 1v1 matchup. I don't particularly like to see Earthshaker up against a Beastmaster. That's going to be kind of an obnoxious match where you're faced up against double boar constantly and you can't kill them. So I would much prefer to see Evil Geniuses attempt to dodge, but we'll see what happens if they're able to read what's going on, or if they're actually fully accepting of the 3 versus 3.
Well, by the looks of it, it's a 3 versus 3. They seem to be very accepting of it. So we'll have a Beastmaster on bottom, an Earthshaker on bottom lane 2, and with 3 clarities, Universe already knows he's got level 2 from this bottom lane because he's going to fissure block the lane. I'm interested to see how well Sumail's going to go. I touched on it a little bit during the draft, the fact that Sumail is like the most hunted player in EG. Everyone wants to kill this guy. So why would you then put him on a hero which, when he gets killed off time and time again, loses all forms of momentum? It's really difficult to catch back up with it. That's like the bigger question for me. And then the last question would be, can Fear get space to farm on this top lane as the Bristleback? Because if he can do so, like, he can basically 1v5 this entire LC lineup.
He is a lane dominator though, and he can't do quite well against Quam.
There's a lot of people in here for LC, and it's going to be Lion who takes the bounty rune, and Owie's probably going to die for the cause here, which he will do so. The magic missile attack from London Conspiracy, Vengeful Spirit was able to do that. So it's the Beastmaster who gets one, the Lion who gets the other. I'm not quite sure if it was really worth it though for EG.
At the very least, he gets that bounty rune, right? It's something you can hold on to. You keep the enemy Queen of Pain from being able to have that advantage over Sumail, which if they had gotten that and the bounty rune, that would have been hugely significant, because then with the extra experience advantage, Queen of Pain might actually be able to take the fight to the Leshrac. Normally you're going to be spammed out with Lightning Storm that you can't actually play too aggressively. So normally the Queen of Pain, right? The way you want to play that middle lane is you press forward past the creep wave, you Shatter Strike, and you just use your range and your general harassment capabilities with Shatter Strike to be able to push back the enemy hero enough that they can't get an ECS. They may move forward and try and get some experience, and they'll be fine in that regard, and they'll usually be able to push you back eventually. But just for the first couple of levels, you try and play really aggressively, especially against heroes who utilize the shared tango build. But that's just not the case against a Leshrac. Like, he lightning spams you out, you can't actually man fight against him because you're not going to have that much HP to work with.
Well, let's get into our lanes, man. So we have managed to resume the game. LC just needed a moment. Have they already jumped in? Yep, they have. They're gone for PPD, but he levels up actually Shallow Grave to start with, and Fear. That's a big stun from Aoi 2000. Catching out Silver from the body block from Fear. There's too many cool sprays here on Spartan to survive, so it'll be a double kill for Fear. And what started as an aggressive snowball from LC ends up with a very easy kill for EG.
Yeah, not sure what they were thinking there. That was never going to be a good play, right? They never have the burst damage to be able to kill the hero before Shallow Grave goes out. So they can't play for we have to kill somebody right away. They have to play for the, okay, we be aggressive, we get a better trade-off hero. They're going to go again? Jesus!
Really? Snowball in, but the triple burrow strike this time from Aoi. Fear might be taking up, he's backs towards him, and he's sticking close enough they can keep getting the cool spray stacks off. Vengeful Spirit of the tree line, he's up to 3 already, and then they turn him into a fish, and they're going to fry him on the sidebar. That is just another kill coming the way of EG. A trip, like 3 now for Fear. He's almost got more kills than CS.
I mean, I thought they would have learned the first time, but that's not a good idea.
Well, it's one of those things which we initially talked about. When Tusker first came into Dota 2, you'd talk about the mechanic of a snowball, and you wondered, was it a real... Like, that was back when Enigma was played a hell of a lot, and you asked yourself the question, is it a good idea to bring 3 heroes into one position? Because that's practically what they're doing on this top lane.
Yeah.
And Lion's like, I've got a line stun, which can hit all 3 of you. All you gotta do is just hold back from the snowball target, which seems to be Fear or PPD every single time, and then he's gonna stun them all up, so Fear can get basically 1 or 2 quill spray stacks off, and Dazzle can get the heal off, so all the damage is repaired anyway.
Nice play by Universe. He actually uses the Fissure at bottom lane to block off Skylark to make sure that he can secure the rune. Unfortunately, it was an illusion rune, not much he's going to be able to utilize with that, but he does have a Soul Ring coming up soon. So that will allow him to be able to spam out a little bit more. This should be a lane that he loses, though. The Beastmaster easily taking a CS lead right now.
And it's the upside. It's the upside for Skylark.
It's for the rest of London Conspiracy, right? Like, if they're running an aggro tri-lane like this, the advantage was going to be that their solo lane was going to do quite well versus the Earthshaker, and the idea being that you can keep the Bristleback at bay when it comes to farm. Unfortunately, they just fed the Bristleback so much, it doesn't matter if he's not getting CS.
Yeah, now Fear's going to get... Actually, what is Fear building into? Like, we've got Stick, we've got Bruce, got a Stout Shield, and it's a bottle for Sumail. What are we looking at from him? Is it actually worth getting something like the Vanguard early on? Just send him to the front lines and tank and almost force the issue because you've got such an ability to tank?
I think Vanguard's really good for Fear, but I think you would probably go for Treads in lane first.
He's already started that, yeah.
Yeah, but I would say, like, I think Vanguards are pretty good for this game specifically. We'll see whether or not he feels like he has the farm to be able to pick up the Vanguard. Part of the problem is with Vanguard, timing is pretty important on that item. You don't want to stall up other items too much by getting a Vanguard. You also want to pick it up early enough that you can actually really take advantage of the low damage on most heroes. But if you look at it, this game, like Vanguard and Crimson Guard, generally speaking, is really good versus Gyrocopter. It's good versus like any unit that any hero that draws summons out. So you have the Beastmaster who uses both Boar as well as Necronomicon. So I think it's pretty legit. But again, I think it depends on his laning phase farm as well.
Man, this ward battle on top lane, there's sentries everywhere. Just in ruins, but Aui's able to get the pull over, so Fear's just farming up underneath his own tower, feeling very, very comfortable, and LC's not feeling the option. It's kind of funny, when you run an aggro trial lane, normally a pull like that is something you kind of want to have happen, because then your creep wave comes onto the tower, and you can try and battle the enemy underneath their own tower, but with the protection of your own creep wave, so you can tank up the damage from the tower. But in this case, it's not what LC want. Like, they're not ready to fight, they know they can't kill off Fear, you know the Shallow Grave already leveled up from PPD, it's almost impossible, and you have an unknown factor, which is the line. You never know where he's going to come out from. So it's so difficult, and especially when we're in nighttime too. The vision is so restrictive that you don't... this is their vision right now. This is what they see of the Dire jungle. It's nothing. They don't even see the Bristleback at the moment.
Yeah, they actually had... it's funny, the Gyrocopter is usually powerful in tri-lane scenarios because he just does so much damage with Rocket Barrage, but they really needed a burst damage hero if they were going to run this with the Tusk and Vengeful Spirit, particularly against like the Shallow Grave. Because there's no way they can really punish the Bristleback for playing aggressively. He will usually just turn around before the Magic Missile hits him, and then the damage over time is going to be mitigated quite heavily by the Bristleback passive, and then you also have like the Shallow Grave that's going to come into play. So they can't jump with the supports because they don't have the bursting capabilities to take out a support before Shallow Grave goes down, and they can't really punish the Bristleback for playing offensively because they have no real good disables and nukes to be able to punish him when he pushes out against them. So it's just a bad situation for London Conspiracy to be in generally, and they really need to switch up their lanes.
Well, they're about to. Snowball coming in towards the mid, they're after Sumail, double TPs are on the way, as PPD's the first one. Actually, it's going to be Aoi 2000, which worked out in the end. I thought maybe it'd be better to have the Dazzler come in to keep Sumail alive, but having Aoi stun meant they could punish the Tusker for coming in way too close. Let's ask you another question right now. Does EG need to change anything? Are they fine just having Universe doing his thing on the bottom lane and having Sumail farming in the mid?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a lane that Earthshaker loses, but he doesn't lose it that hard. Like, he gets full experience, he's going to get some CS. It's like everything Earthshaker wants, right? He doesn't need to be a lane dominator by any means. So I think they're quite happy with the way everything is going for them. The only thing that they'll really change up at some point in time is committing one of their supports to, like, start stacking, and that's about it. Like, they move one of their supports to stack and maybe help out the middle lane some, and that's all they need to do, because they now know, okay, London Conspiracy, if they continued the aggro tri-lane, they would have lost really, really hard. So they have to rotate out. Even if they didn't rotate out, I would still say there's enough power from Evil Geniuses just with the Bristleback that they didn't need to commit both of their supports there. So now they get time to stack up, maybe do some pulling, get some gold essentially from their neutrals, whether it's on their supports or potentially on their cores.
Well, they've already done that, so PPD as well as the as well as the Tusker. Spartan was already starting to stack up, and they did switch up their lane. So the Beastmaster's on the top, the Gyro's now moved down to the bottom lane. Farm it up, enjoy everything you can possibly get, and Skylark trying to make sure he can do the pull, and he fails to take the aggro fully from the wave, so it only removes the range creep to the side camp. So difficult to try and control your lane when you can't keep denying off wave after wave to that side camp, which is what you really want to be doing at the moment. But at least VS is finding some farm, Tusker as well, also moving up in the levels. Queen of Pain having enough burst damage that he could potentially get a burst kill over on Sumail. Sumail going for both. He's actually building him for a Yule Scepter to start with, so you're not looking at a high increase in life points early on with like a casual point booster. They're running for the topper, and Sumail's out a long way. The Raw's going to come in, and they need extra help. But he couldn't get the Shallow Grave up in time. So the kill will go the way of London Conspiracy, and the Ice Shards locking him PPD. In for the Snowball. He's got the Shallow Grave, but there's no one TPing to help him. The captain is dead, and he knows it. So 2 quick pickoffs from LC in that mid lane, going very, very nicely their way.
Yeah, that's the kind of play that London Conspiracy needs to pull out. I think they should have rotated Tusk into the middle lane a lot more. With the laning phase being won so heavily by the Bristleback lane, they needed to just rotate their supports constantly into middle lane. So finally the Tusk becomes of use. We finally see his power as a support, getting that additional pickoff. And Beastmaster's pretty happy with where he's at. I mean, Sunlock obviously got a lot of farm early on, but he's even managing to pull the lane back. He's got 41 CS. He's going to have a Necro Book pretty quickly, and that's going to be really effective, not only against Leshrac, but also the Bristleback. You've got a lot of squishier heroes or very mana-dependent heroes, one way or the other, some both. And Necronomicon is effective against exactly that.
Sumail's flash farming time has just arrived. Split Earth, Pulse Nova, and he doesn't even need the lightning, but he's going to use it anyway. Quick farm up for him, and they're going to make LC have to make sure they keep this Leshrac in check. You've got yourself 1 kill, that's absolutely terrific, but you can't stop there, because once you get the Yule Scepter up and running, the Snowball has no effect over on the Dazzle. It's not as though he needs a BKB or anything like that. He just knows the Snowball's going to come in, Yule Scepter up and towards the air. What they're going to do when he hits the ground, you got Magic Missile and Walrus Punch, but it buys more than enough time for the EG supports to arrive. Yeah. And that's one thing I was just surprised, like, why Universe was carrying a TP, but he didn't TP into the mid lane to help out with that. I know, maybe it's too far up the river.
Yeah, it's too far up the river. Like, Sumail is instantly dead, and then the Dazzle being blocked out means he's dead as well. Like, there's nothing the Earthshaker could do at that point to save him, so better to just try and get the most out of the lane as possible. I think what London Conspiracy really need to do, they should realize that Evil Geniuses are going to focus a lot of wards in the middle lane. If they can counter-ward that, and then also bring a smoke into the middle lane, if they back up, smoke up, and then search for Sumail, right? If you counter-ward the middle lane, you actually have just enough time for the Queen of Pain to be able to make a quick smoke entrance into the jungle, and they need to pick him off again, right? You can't afford to let Sumail just farm up stacks constantly. You can't afford to have him get his really, really early Yule Scepter.
Well, they're about to have a crack. It's going to be over on Thug. First stun, second stun. Lightning's going to be there too. Universe doesn't want to commit any more than that, and they didn't need to. Leshrac finds the kill. Sumail was very happy with this too. It was a low-risk situation. They brought in 4 heroes, 3 of them smoked. And with a haste rune up his sleeve inside of the bottle, they weren't going to stop him. In fact, he's even using the Pulse Nova with the Shadow Wave to get rid of the Creep Wave. They're trying to keep the Catapult alive. Inflict as much damage onto this tower as possible. Sumail has to trigger the haste rune. The Snowball will keep chasing him, and PvD starts with the first heal, and Sumail turns around, gets the stun. Tuskar's got nothing really left to give here. He's pretty low. Lightning attack damage, 1 more from Sumail, and he'll get a kill over on Spartan. They try to smoke it up. It won't work, however, and with a stick charge available, Sumail chasing after 1 quick pulse was all they really needed. PvD will find him in the tree line. There's another TP on the way in from the Queen of Pain, but Sumail is well out of here. PPD should be the same, and looks like they're battling up on the top lane. Lions kill up the Gyrocopter in a different lane, and Fear doesn't actually have enough mana to keep going elsewhere. So it was on bottom lane, Finger of Death committed, as well as the Echo Slam from the Earthshaker.
Yeah, I was just about to say, before that middle lane engagement happened, they had the Lion still with that smoke from middle lane, coming to bottom, and he was level 6, and that should be a free pick off on somebody, and sure enough, it was the Gyrocopter. Big kill for them to be able to get. And now you've got Fear, who's got himself a Vanguard, even gets himself just a value cloak early on. I doubt he's going to turn this into a pipe or anything. I think a Crimson Guard would be actually still really legit for Fear, but we'll see if he goes that route still.
It'll depend on their timing. Like, if they feel like they maybe... Like, if Sumail gets more points up in ED pretty shortly and they find more kills and start pushing down buildings, then I kind of feel like, yeah, that could work. But if not, like, just play it casual, man. Just keep farming up, make yourself unkillable, and eventually, around 30-35 minutes, EG will come high ground after winning fights and taking out a couple of buildings out here and there.
Skylark, we gotta follow him, right? This is the play for him. He's gotta utilize this invisibility room to catch out Samael. He's got his Primal Roar, he's got Necronomicon. This should be the freest pickoff of his life. But, you know, a lot can go wrong. Evil Geniuses, fortunately, uses the Invis rune before he gets spotted out by the wards. Good start. And let's see if he actually rotates around and finds Samael. Oh, this would be a perfect opportunity when he's, like, dropped Arcane Boots or something.
he's going to see him walk down now, but Aui's right behind him. So if you can have a crack at this, they're also going to lose the Observe Ward inside the lane. We are during nighttime, so their vision gets a little bit more restrictive.
They've got the Queen of Pain ultimate too.
Aui reveals himself. There's your first draw. They need that Hex. There's your Sonic Wave. Hitting into Aui as well. But they can't finish off any more than that. But it's a good pick off. They bring down Samael. But I'm still seeing 3 heroes being committed to do this. Is it worth it when you still actually have a Bristleback being completely now uncontested on top lane after you fed him 3 early kills?
I mean, I don't think they can really do anything about this Bristleback. They just do not have the damage necessary to be able to kill him once he picked up Vanguards. So they either have to commit like 4 heroes to go after him, or they just leave him be. I think it's better to, it's the more assured
kill to go for PPD. Snowball in. They put down the Observe Ball, which gave him the vision for it, and well, with a scream coming in from Thug, they'll slow him down or kill him off. Universe's Fissure is what slows them down, but there's no follow-up from that.
Leshrac is a more dangerous hero to have farm on, so I think it's it's an easier kill to get, right? So it's win-win sort of scenario, right? You're guaranteed to be able to get a pick off on the Leshrac if you lead correctly, and then of course you've got the factor that if he manages to get a BKB, he's dangerous as all hell to your team.
Watching this top lane, that Dire Observer Ward's down, and Skylark kind of feels like he's being watched. Puts the ball into the tree line to start with, and then swings the Hawk up around the side. But with Universe as well as Samael here, Universe is sitting behind Samael. There's very little ways they can kill him. In fact, now, with the stun, they're going to go for the follow-up lining, and that's an easier pick off. Very, very quickly done. And Universe and Samael just back the hell out of there. While up on top lane, Fear diving underneath the tier 1 tower. They're chasing up a Skylark in the Finger of Death. Ensures the kill before Thug was able to arrive, but he's got a DD rune available. But they'll hex him up, and with the Nasal Goo, he's running out of armor. The Ice Shards will control Aui for the moment. The Snowball going to come in, also holding in Thug, so they couldn't attack him, but the Fissure arrives from the perfect time from Universe. And Samael with the Pulse Nova. They split the kills between the EG players, taking out 2 of the cores here of LC.
And now the only thing Madara can do is push down that middle tower, but it's so healthy. Plus you have the Leshrac as well as the Earthshaker are going to be rotating in soon. He actually does nothing to the tower in the process, so they lose
he got the fortification out. That was it.
Yeah, which doesn't mean much, especially when it comes to like going for tier 1 towers.
They're TPing up to the top lane. I don't know if VS and Beastmaster are looking at Fear. Yep, swap him in, roar him up. He's underneath the tower, and there's no help around him. He's still very tanky. 6-1 charges up his sleeve. He's going to fire them all off right now. PPT can't get there in time. He really wanted to, but now Samael turns on the pulse, but you've also got the cooldown coming at EG. They've overcommitted themselves to this one. The Vengeful Spirit is barely alive, but it's enough to be up. And PPD running as quickly as he can. No homing missile, no control. He's away to safety.
Yeah, there's something to be said for just accepting when the enemy team makes a good play and just letting them have whatever they get, right? That was a good play from Lenny Conspiracy, setting up that kill on the Bristleback with the double
Echo Slam right on top of the Gyro with Aui to follow up. You know, you can accept that Gyrocopter's dead as well, and that gives both Blink Daggers to Earthshaker as well as Lion. They both have jump initiations now.
Yeah, and London Conspiracy do not have anywhere close to that kind of farm on their supports.
You have a 1,300 net worth Tusker and a 2k. Universe is about to jump in mid. You can't get the instant stun, however, or then again Spartan. He's too far away. But Fear, okay, there's your first hit. It's a Fissure, follow up to Totem Stomp, and that's how you combo it up when you don't have Jericho Slam available. Quick pick off, and they can just go directly to the tier 2 tower. Just so easy. And they're going to push a little bit further, and we'll actually jump on board with the EG boys, so through the wonderful help of Turtle Beach, we'll actually have a listen to what EG is thinking.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Wow, that is one hell of a fight for LC to take against EG. Right underneath the tier 1 tower, and the Beastmaster helps set all of that up with the Invis Rune again.
Yeah, I think that was a really good time to listen to EG because you heard what their mindset was going into that team fight. They were trying to play that a little bit passive, right? It was just the Invis Rune of the Beastmaster that caught him out completely. If that wasn't there, they get a pretty clean extraction from that team fight, and then they play aggressively at that top lane with the Earthshaker. They were actually a little bit afraid that Earthshaker was going to be the one gone on, right? So they're talking about TPs, how they wouldn't be able to save the Earthshaker really, and so they were just playing kind of defensive on both sides. It's just, you know, that invisibility rune that ends up getting them caught out, and London Conspiracy now sitting in a pretty damn good position. Like, they've almost evened up this game in net worth and experience with Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, they actually lead the net worth for the first time in basically 18 minutes. So it's a great position for them. I also want to give massive props right there to Thug. His Sonic Wave positioning was absolutely perfect. Yeah. On top of the call down, it hit practically all of EG and Fear. Like, I think he started saying I'm taking a lot of damage, at which point he then realized the rest of his team was actually dead already. So there was no one to help. So they go for the Hail Mary, and it's the right, or not the Hail Mary, it's just the advantage to get them back into control of this game, which they're losing.
Yeah, it's just something that Leshrac and Bristleback can always do, but you could see London Conspiracy, and they have a great team to contest Roshan.
That they do. Where's that Sigil? Keep your eyes open for it in the middle of the fight. Gonna make it difficult. The Shards fly in, separates PPD, so he's a long way back, but Weave comes back off cooldown for him, so he can give a lot of armor to his teammates. Universe with a fissure, keeping Fissure out, and they've already taken the Aegis, but actually got killed off by the cooldown. So Roshan was actually killed by LC and snatched by Leshrac.
Beautiful setup. I mean, that could have been such a disastrous fight if London Conspiracy had actually committed to going into the Roshan pit, but Universe, cool, calm, and collected, just sitting there waiting to throw out the fissure that blocks out London Conspiracy and ensures that Roshan does go the way of Evil Geniuses. Well, maybe not Roshan, but at least the Aegis.
And yeah, it was
that's super unfortunate.
It was like a chance in a million that was going to work. Maybe not a million. That stat's a little bit too exploited, but
I mean, considering the amount of physical damage that Evil Geniuses were putting out, which is the best thing against Roshan, and then like the magic damage of cooldown being able to secure the last hit is pretty insane.
Yeah. Well, that's still going to mean now the Beastmaster now has his level 3 Necro book up and running. The Aghanims is done over on the Queen of Pain as well. And you're building into what looks to be the SMY, but could potentially be a BKB for the Gyrocopter. I'm not quite sure exactly which one he'd really favor at this point of the game.
I think he has to go BKB. I don't think he can go SNY at this point.
Is it a little bit too late for it? It's also with all the disables from EG.
Because if you go into SNY, you're stalling up your BKB too much, and you're just going to get trashed by this Leshrac, who, by the way, is super farmed. He's almost caught up with the Gyrocopter in farm. He's sitting second in net worth. He's about to finish up a Bloodstone. So not only does he have the Yule Scepter, but the Bloodstone is going to be coming in with the Aegis that he already has. If he starts racking up those Bloodstone charges, he's going to be a sizable force to deal with. So if they do end up going for SNY, it's something that London Conspiracy may end up going that route. They have to play defensive on their Gyrocopter. What I mean by that is they have to be able to use their saving mechanisms, such as Nether Swap and Snowball, to save him when he's the one that gets isolated by Yule Scepter and the Splitter stun.
Yeah. He's a BKB boy. He got the Mithril Hammer, so yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It's BKB. It looks like EG is going to come in for round 2 on bot lane. They've brought all 5 players down here, and it's all being watched by LC. There's the Observer Ward that's down. The funny thing is, with the Invis Rune from before, just going to flag it as well, Aoi was like the only man carrying a Sentry Ward at that time. If he threw it down behind the lines, there was no reason to do it, but if he did it, they would have killed the Beastmaster off and taken out that bottom tower. So, just that mindset kind of thing. But the tier 1 tower's now dropped on bottom lane. The top tower, they've triggered actually the Necro 3 books units for this one, so EG will feel fairly confident to just try and go for a tower trade-off here. Tier 1 and Tier 2s for Tier 1 and Tier 2s.
Yeah, London Conspiracy do have really good push thanks to the Necronomicon, but Evil Geniuses are not that bad either, particularly with the Bristback now hitting his level 2 Warpath. He actually gets so much good physical damage combined with the Diabolic Edict that they actually take towers faster than London Conspiracy, even against that Necrobook 3.
Well, Necro Book 3 is going to pass out, and that's going to be, yep, 2 tier 2 towers down at basically exactly the same time. And everyone's just, well, actually, EG, they're looking to force it. The Bloodstone has now arrived for the Leshrac, so he's ready to go in fear on the front lines. Remember, the Aegis Immortal is in the hands of Sumail. He's got the Edict, and they burn through the fortification. So in comes your cooldown, Sumail. He's actually able to get himself out of the pill, out of the cooldown because of the haste room. With the Flag Hand doing seriously work, and the Sonic Wave, DPD, the Shadow Break will protect him up. The Echo so missed time from Universe! It was a missed blink, he meant to go in, and now there might be some more trouble. PPD, he's starting to creep to the back of the line. Universe back in again, they've got the finger of death. The Beastmaster still able to get the roar off, but some nail with the Pulse Nova, standing his ground. Now they're chasing after the Gyrocopter. Albie's got Blink Dagger off cooldown now, as well as having the Son of Bubble. Thug, there's little he can do. The Sonic Wave's on cooldown, even Sumail gets a secondary Sun over on him. They'll take out the creep wave in the mid, and EG make the best of a really good situation.
Yeah, London Conspiracy should have seen that read, that was not a good idea to go for the secondary team fight. Like, the moment they took out Sumail with that wave, that should have been the end of it.
Great follow-up stun. They just saw him, the Observer Ward that was up on the high ground. They saw the Queen of Pain just tiptoeing on the stairs, and the Fissure from Universe sets it up. And this actually means they can take the tier 3 tower.
Yeah, I mean, Evil Geniuses took that fight commandingly without an Echo Slam initiation from Universe. Like, I think that says so much about the team fight. Like, that was such a bad idea for them to continue to push forward and try and take that fight. The only play they actually had, I think, was Spartan using Ice Shards to block out the Leshrac and trying to just peck at the Leshrac from a distance, but even that is dangerous against the mass Blink Daggers of EG.
Yeah, it's... Like, EG's maneuverability is just so high. Like, with double Blink Daggers, now triple Blink Daggers, and I think there's also a 4-staff in the works at one point. That one belongs to Universe. You're slipping and sliding everywhere to try and get a position up against them, so the cooldown doesn't do anywhere near as much. The Snowball doesn't seem to have any effect whatsoever, and because Beastmaster went for this Necro Book, this is kind of like the difference between watching Skylark's Beastmaster and Admiral Bulldog's Beastmaster, where he stopped at level 1 Necro Book to try and go into the Blink Dagger, because he realized that the advantage in the fights was better than having the level 3 Necro Book. So Beastmaster now has to wait till he gets up to that Blink Dagger before he can do anything, really.
Yeah, now London Conspiracy are back to sitting and farming up the Gyrocopter. They still are dealing with a double core from Evil Geniuses of the Bristleback and the Leshrac, and I think Bristleback is actually an incredibly strong core against Gyrocopter for multiple reasons. Like, he's good in the laning phase versus him. He's also a very direct physical damage hero that is able to put pressure on the Gyrocopter, even though, like, because Gyro's so dependent on BKB, physical damage is quite strong against him. He's a really tanky hero that is able to soak up a lot. The biggest danger that Bristleback has...
The roar's going to come out in him with the Necro Universe. Does he have enough to kill him off? There's still the 4-staff available, so Universe will make it to the tree line, but how much further can he make it? The support's coming in from the rest of EG, and that's Sumail with the stun and the Pulse Nova. Universe will live to fight another day, but the rest of, well, London Conspiracy's coming in and take it back. The Beastmaster's still got the pick off, and maybe they got a nice one in return. The Dazzle dropping, so it's a 2-for-1 trade-off. But Sumail with this haste room wants to keep on running after him. VS swapping him out, actually away from the call down, so the Vegetable Spirit will die. It's a double kill for Sumail. I think that was the plan.
Good work. I mean, that was the right read, right? It was like, oh god, there's a hasted Leshrac. There's nothing to stop him from picking out multiple heroes. I turn, I stun, I draw attention away from the rest of my allies. Because otherwise, Leshrac just would have, like, blinked in. Yule Scepter, stuns. Like, he could have easily gotten a kill on one of the other cores of London Conspiracy, or at the very least forced out the BKB from the Gyrocopter. So, I think that was a pretty good read. And they end up trading 2 for 2. Like, offlaner for offlaner, support for support.
The only downside is, though, the kills are coming the way of Sumail, and he's up to 15 Bloodstone charges right now, so it's almost an instant respawn arriving for the Leshrac, and he just purchased up something new, and it's BTs, so wants to be moving everywhere across the map.
Yeah, pretty good read, especially with the Blink Dagger. He's actually able to do a lot of split pushing, and if he gets the upgraded Boots of Travel, then he can actually just always join his Blink Dagger allies, right? So he pushes down, say, like, push down top lane. He's got an Earthshaker online who can afford to smoke up and force a fight inside the jungle, because then he can just join them after they make the initiation. He may not choose to go that route right away, but it's an idea that is available to a Leshrac.
Nice ball micro, denying up the Observer Ward from the Beastmaster. But it's still LC now losing vision. So if we actually have a bit of a check over on the map for them right now, Observer Wards wise, you're watching both the rune spots, and that's basically it. This one's actually only got 7 seconds to live anyway. The one on south is a little bit fresher. The vision is getting a little bit restricted here for LC, which makes it difficult to try and take these fights. You have the Beastmaster at least. Like, the Hawks are still a huge advantage. And in fact, actually noticing Skylark going BTs as opposed to getting the Blink Dagger. So he doesn't want to have the jump, and he's wanting to move across the map with the BTs.
Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I mean, it gives them more split pushing possibilities. I don't think London Conspiracy win any fights in the next 10 minutes, so I think it's better for them to draw out the game, even though if I'm not particularly optimistic about London Conspiracy's chances like 15-20 minutes from now. I think Evil Geniuses take such a big advantage at like the 40-minute marker that they'll just steamroll through the base. But London Conspiracy should be looking to split push and try and draw this game out late with the Gyrocopter as best as possible, just because they're behind enough in the mid-game.
Well, 2 magical smiles appear out of nowhere as far as LC believe it. Yeah, and they're looking towards the runes like, okay guys, they took out the rune. Well, Samael is currently mopping up the bottom lane without revealing himself while he's still inside the smoke. So, now he's going to finally reveal himself as the DD rune. It's money. That's what he's looking for the catapult kill. There's no point. They're not going to find any kills. The second they saw the Gyrocopter backing up, they know LC have no desire to fight.
Kind of interested to see what Fear does with his build on the Bristleback from here. So he's not going Crimson Guard at any point in time, which I think is fine. Does he still go for the S&Y? It's 30 minutes into this game.
Is it worth getting something like a Silver Edge? Because that's the other option. You can go with that, or you get a Halberd.
No, I wouldn't say Silver's Edge. I think a Halberd is a potential pickup, and MKB is such a natural item pickup for the Gyrocopter that I don't particularly like Halberd. The one good thing you could say about it is that like it does kind of sometimes force out BKB on the Gyro early or something like that. But
well, I'm wondering if you even, like, I'm not going to say use it on the Vengeful Spirit to remove 2 points up in Aura, but here's a mechanic question for you. If you've actually disarmed that, when she dies, does it transfer over?
You're talking about with the Silver's Edge, using it on the Vengeful Spirit to disable the Vengeance Aura?
Yeah, and then she ends up dying, and you kill her. Normally you're meant to take negative damage. That's one thing I've never thought about until this point.
I would say no. I think it's an on-death effect. I don't think that it would work like that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Either way, I doubt we're going to see that situation in this game, just because that would be so weird. There's so many better situations for Fear to play.
It would be. It makes a lot more sense to go for the Halberd, primarily because there's no Monkey King bar over on the Gyrocopter. But here comes your smoked LC lineup. They look for the opening, and well, do they try it again? But it's the same kind of, almost the same kind of situation. Except the fact that Universe was inside the pit. They could see him coming. There's your smoke break. The cooldown's on the way. The Fear triggers the BKB. Samel blinks out of the pit, and they've actually visioned him up. The Vengeful Spirit as well as the Queen of Pain, not having anything really to bring to this fight. And Fear's got so many core spray stacks up and taking minimal damage to do it. They have to try and get rid of this damn guy in Universe. In for the Echo Slam. The Vengeful Spirit is down for the count. He's the first casualty of all. The Queen of Pain will follow directly after. Up the Finger of Death from Aoi 2000 does its work, and another Fear just done, keeping the Gyrocopter out of play. The Ice Shard will stop EG from running up the river, and the TP away from the Beastmaster will be in time. But this means EG, not only do they get a kill in the core and support, they will take Roshan uncontested.
Yeah, Evil Geniuses, they're just reading the situation quite well. They just like throw Fear at the enemy and say, go ahead, if you want to target him, we still have Shoutgrave to follow him up. We still have the Blink Dagger heroes to be able to make an initiation at any point in time. It was just superior kiting and better team fight read by Evil Geniuses. They knew they have an advantage in team fights, and they really abused that in that last game, where they was just like the Bristleback. I mean, he's sitting on 2200 HP right now. How does London Conspiracy possibly kill them, especially if they use Primal Roar when he's turned his back to them?
Now, this is like the 4th time I've seen that Sigil being hunted down by Aoi in Universe. Fear went for the SMY, and there's so much money on the Lost Shrike with 4.3k. The world is their oyster right now is for EG. Like, you still hold on to 3 of your outer towers, and it's not going to take long.
Skylark. He's going to be picked off in the top lane. Samael just like runs into him with a haste rune. He'll Scepter, Split Earth. What's a Beastmaster going to do?
You know Samael's biggest problem right now? He's got too many levels. He won't instant respawn.
Yep.
That's actually his biggest problem.
17 Bloodstone charges. He's just like throwing mana around constantly, and he still has enough regeneration to keep it up.
I wonder, like, is this when you start looking in towards other things like I don't know if you want to go Octarine Core on the Leshrac or...
No, I think Octarine Core is great when you're ahead on the Leshrac. Just because, like, it's another stat item, make sure your stays alive, and I think that the offensive capabilities of Leshrac is
good. He caught the Vengeful Spirit out of here. The homing missile's on the way, but the damage is already done. Turns on the Pulse Nova, in comes the missile. They're not going to get rid of it in time, but Samel doesn't care. His regeneration is already so high, and this Blink Dagger with the movement speed from both the Earls and BTs is so quick to chase down the kills. And Fear's now just going for the split push. It goes in through the mid, but he just wants a tier 3 tower bottom. Fortification, the Ice Shards are actually isolating out Fear quite heavily here, but there's still a gap, and he moves up to the top side of it. So Fortification's down, the tier 3 tower is dropped, and the Vengeful Spirit's still on the sidelines for 15 seconds. And there's your Octarine Core. He just bought the entire thing straight. He'll give up the bottle for that.
I mean, how do you kill this guy? Like, if he blinks into the middle of you, and he's hitting 5 heroes with Pulse Nova, it doesn't matter if he doesn't have BKB, right? Because
even if you turn... the Aegis.
Yeah, even if you turn and try and fight him with 5 heroes and target him down, if he's hitting everyone with Pulse Nova and he's getting out, like, Diabolic Edict damage, and maybe he gets off a lightning or something like that, like, he heals up so much. And then he has the Self-Yule Scepter to be able to throw down as well, which will heal up even more during that invincibility time. It's just so many options for Samel.
Well, Sigil doesn't last long either, dies before the fight even really begins, and Fear is starting to rack up a little bit more physical damage here, hitting about 260, and there's that blink. It goes instantly on top of Skylark while the cooldown, it does set up EG a little bit, but you've still got the BKB to protect heroes like Fear, and Samel is just running around the back lines. He doesn't care, you can Morris punch him to your heart's content. The snowball might protect you up a little bit, but he just keeps chasing down. The Gyro is forced to buy back, but the double fissure with the finger, with the follow-up, EG is just mopping up the base here of LC, and Samel, he's still got the Hagen Bloody Immortal. You cannot kill him. The stuns are coming the way of Fear, and maybe he is low enough and out of position up that he potentially could find a kill on him, but you've still got Owie and PPD doing the both backlines. Fear, he's down to 240 HP, but they haven't got him yet. Samel is finally down with 17 HP. This Gyrocopter will be able to survive, but Samel just turns it on again and goes further. Skylark, the Pulse Nova, it's killing off his teammates. There's the Lightning, 57 HP. He's only able to TP out, and Samel even 4 staffs up to finish off the job. The bottom ranks is a forfeit, and EG still have 5 players up against 2 of LC.
No, I mean, seriously, Samel took like 4,000 damage in that fight, and he just...
Bug, blink away. Safety for all. Samel, he's actually going to kill him off still. The Split Earth into another Pulse Nova. PD's low in life, he'll TP away to safety. Fear's on the run with a homing missile behind him, but Samel, he is, well, one hell of a guy, but he can't tank this. He's actually going to die. The BKB protects the Gyrocopter, and he actually commits suicide, so you don't even get awarded the proper kill for it, but it's an instant respawn for Samel.
Yeah, that was Evil Geniuses. Just got a little bit YOLO because they were, like, they still are, obviously, so far ahead. They could afford to make plays like that. They don't even, like, give up anything. Like, they lost an Earthshaker. They suicided on a Leshrac. Nothing really...
You got 3 buybacks out from LC, and like, even if you were considering it from a point of view of you're winning it with economy, you still won out with economy.
Yeah, if you look in the net worth tab, just take a look at the number of red tabs that are there at the bottom part of the net worth graph, and then you have 2 tabs on the side of the Radiant, right?
Which is Gyro killing Earthshaker and LC killing off a tower.
Yeah, which was happened to be a creep wave, like pushing down a tower. That wasn't even them. So the only thing they got out of that was killing the Earthshaker.
Life is hard.
Yeah, life is super difficult.
Life is just difficult for the Greeks. They already knew it was going to be difficult when they managed to draw EG in the first game of the series of the finals. That was already hard enough as it is.
So not too terribly surprising. Fear's going a very traditional route with his Bristleback. He did go for the S&Y after the Sage. Now he's going for a Assault Cuirass.
Samel looks like he's going to go for Scythe of Ice. Unless he's going for something else absolutely crazy with a Void Stone, but Scythe makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it's gives him the opportunity to utilize that blink a little bit more offensively to pick off a hero like the Gyrocopter pre-BKB or the Queen of Pain pre-BKB.
Yeah. There's just so much movement speed as well here on EG. Like you look at the damage output and just their ability to move across the map.
Oh, I bet Lotus Orb works with Octarine Core. So the damage that he reflects back, he probably lifesteals from. That would be super legit. Let's see Lotus Orb. That's what I want to see.
It's stacked. It's a stacked Leshrac if he's able to buy that one. So what do we go up? Yeah, it's just a Scythe of Ice. It's a more stock all standard for the Leshrac.
It's a really bad Lotus Orb game.
If you had
doesn't matter, I still want to see it.
If it was a Lena pickup as opposed to the Vengeful Spirit, it would be a perfect Lotus Orb game. No, not as much. So the other lane's pushed in, but EG know that this is all about the killing blow. Like, you can lose your tier 2 towers in the mid and the bottom lane, it really does not matter. Their goal right now is taking up the tier 3 tower in the top lane and just having a very good fight. Beastmaster Hawk, that TP coming in, is Skylark actually TPing in himself. The cooldown well off target, it didn't even hit on PPD. The VS swapping back out the Beastmaster, but Samael, he is literally the cleaning lady. He is sweeping up the remains of LC, and the snowball will come up. Yep, there's a double kill. It's actually going to be Fear that takes it up, but we'll stick with the 2 cores. They'll go on top of Thug. The Gyrocopter is the last man left alive, but currently he's trying to find Divine Wisdom over in the secret shop, running away to safety. The Samael is ready to push high ground. They just need the creep wave to come with them.
I mean, Lena Conspiracy knew they had to make some sort of crazy YOLO play, and I guess that was it. Beastmaster teleporting into the Hawk and coming in through the side in order to try and catch out the supports. Unfortunately, Glimmer Capes are just too strong, and Evil Geniuses easily managed to get away, or at least in the beginning, get away with the Dazzle for a large period of time, and the same kind of goes with
Jump in. They already managed to find one. The Echo Slam said the Sonic Wave does do some considerable damage, but you bought back on the Beastmaster. He can't get there in time. You've just lost your Quap, you've just lost your Gyro, and buyback is not available for either of these heroes. Any of the heroes from LC, they don't have buyback. Fear is at least low, but Samael's in the front lines. He's got Edict in 5 seconds time, and that's going to be the top rack's completely gone. In fact, they may have get it before that point. Samael's actually at a point where he's doing 209 physical damage with a base attack.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. He's got 3,700 gold on him. He is now getting the extra boots of travel, so
Yep.
he can now jump onto any one of his Blink Initiators and be right in the middle of the team fight. They can wait out Roshan if they want to. I don't think it's necessary. They have more than enough of a lead on Lena Conspiracy to end this game straight up.
And with the Assault Gyros up, with all 5 heroes with buybacks and the abilities just to BT directly back into the fight, it just makes sense to go down the mid. You could wait for Roshan, and it's actually kind of worth it. You're only looking at roughly a minute. And the Courier already moved down previously to have a bit of a look for this. Let's get another plate mail. Who's that one belong to? Universe now has a plate mail, and PPD picks up a point booster.
Alright, so Lotus Orb! Yes! So it's not on the Leshrac, but it is picked up by Universe. Legit. So now this Leshrac is going to be a god. Like, he just waltzes right into the enemy base.
It's such a crazy ability. It's such a crazy ability.
And he's just like, come at me, bro.
No one wants to come at that.
He's almost got 3,000 HP. He's got a BKB, which is 10-second duration still. He's got Octarine Core, so that 3,000 HP is more like 7,000, considering how much lifesteal he's going to get out in these team fights.
PPD's just flagging the fact the big man's alive, but this is a last play for LC. It really is. They can push at the bottom lane as much as they possibly can right now, and they actually have to contest this. Because if they end up giving an Aegis Immortal over to Fear, you'll have a Cheese which can probably be passed over to him as well. It's just not manageable for LC. There's no buybacks available. You're not looking at a Rapier over on this Gyro, even if he does have the Demon Edge. So, actually, they don't have no time. They can't get here in time.
No. By the way, I wasn't done listing the amazing things that Leshrac can do, right? Because then you've got all the support behind him. So the magic damage does nothing because there's Glimmer Capes. The physical damage does nothing because there's Solar
They've got Aoi out of position, so they get a quick pick off here. Throw him up, he forced up away! And Glimmer Capes up, Aoi even dead! He turns for the sun, the Sonic Wave is used to kill off the solo Lion, which means the mouse in all the space in the world. The VS evaporates, PPD's not a healthy man, but at the same time they put the Lotus Orb over on him. He's well protected, Universe comes in for the stun, they find Skylark out of position, and Fear, with so much physical damage, he's going to find an extra kill, needs to walk himself around the fissure, and finally just one-hit takes down the Tusker, and that's basically game. Like, Thug is the last man left alive. They've lost top racks, they've lost bottom racks. They cannot repel EG. They'll just go for the tier 4 towers and win. They don't even need mid racks.
Pretty good.
GG.
Pretty good.
GG. Well, we goes to EG with this. It's quality, man. And it's kind of what I was expecting to come out from EG, where it's not like that crushing kind of victory. Like, if you're looking for a stomp in this game, that's not what they're searching for. It's just stable laning, it's stable timing, and you just rip apart the base when they're good and ready to do it. They're not going to force the issue, because why should they take the risk? It doesn't have to happen for them, especially when you're playing in a best-of-1 situation. You do not want to play high-risk, high-reward Dota. There's no point to it. So, props to them all, and Samael, I think he's going to be a very happy man. He still died almost more than anyone else on his team, but he was